Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah alladhi abda'a al-aflaq wal-ardeen was-salatu ala man kana nabiyyan wa adamu bayna al-ma'i wat-teen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. لقد من الله على المؤمنين إذ بعث فيهم رسولا من أنفسهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين. آمنت بالله صدق الله مولانا العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاكرين والشاهدين والحمد لله رب العالمين. ببركة إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا وشفينا ومولانا محمد عبدك ورسولك وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات. Each and every one of you join in. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya sayyidi ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya sayyidi ya Habiballah. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya sayyidi ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya sayyidi ya rahmatan lil alamin. One more time, please, Zaban Khamosh na rahiye. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya sayyidi ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya sayyidi ya khataman nabiyyin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. After praising Allah Almighty Jalla wa Ala, Malik-e-Kainat, Khaliq-e-Kull, Badi'us samawati wal ard, and sending infinite peace and salutations, durood and salawat upon the best of creation, the light of creation, the purpose of creation, Sayyidul Awwaleen wal Akhirin, Imam al-Anbiya wal Mursaleen, Sultan Medina, Noor Sina, Ahmad Mustafa wal Mujtaba, Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallama. Most honorable and respectable ulama karam of Masjid-e-Hada, bil khusus Hazrat Allama Maulana Muhammad Farooq Ashrafi Sahib, Zida Sharfuhu, honorable and respectable elders, brothers in Islam, lovable youngsters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Man lam yashkurin nasa lam yashkurillah. Nabi Akram sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam mentioned, Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal Sharif ki riwayat, a juz of the kull, that individual who is not grateful to the people will never be able to express gratitude to Allah Almighty. So I want to begin by first expressing my gratitude to Qibla Alama Sahib, the Intizamiya of this masjid, or bil khusus Muhtaram Hafiz Sulaiman Sahib, for inviting me once again here in this beautiful Shandar Markazi Masjid in Blackburn, Mohaddis-e-Azam mission. This isn't my first time here. I am honored and humbled once again to be speaking in front of yourselves. Last time I was here, I spoke about the importance of tarbiyyah. Sat in this very same place. Ghaliban on that occasion, Izzat Mu'ad, Wajib al-Ihtaram, Hazrat Peer Sayyid Irfani Miya, Hafizahullah Ta'ala were here as well. And I received a lot of shafqat and du'as for them on that particular occasion. But today I've been asked to speak about the importance of seeking knowledge. And I think the first time I was invited, my topic was a similar topic, yani ta'aleem. And then we stemmed off into a part 2, tarbiyyat. Now we've done a full round circle and come back to part 1 again, which is the importance of seeking knowledge. Last time there was a niyat and intention, and no doubt innamal a'malu bin niyyat, that actions are according to their intention, based upon their intention. There was an intention last time by Allama Sahib and his team to start some sort of a monthly class. But because of one reason or another, that didn't materialize. Since then, whenever I have bumped into Allama Sahib at different programs, different places, different maqamat, I've always reminded them that Hazrat, this was your intention, and I have a passion and desire to teach, and there is a need here in Blackburn Khastor, and there is a desire amongst the youngsters in your community to seek knowledge. Kuch na kuch karo, start something, anything. And Hazrat will always smile. As Imam Sahib, don't worry, we will call you. 2 months pass, 3 months pass. Then I see Hazrat again. Same conversation takes place. It's like deja vu. Groundhog Day. And don't worry, Hazrat, smiling away, I will call you. But I'm not doing gila. Wallahu khairul makirin. Allah Almighty is the best of planners. And it was Hafiz Sulaiman Sahib who recently got in touch with me again and said, Imam Sahib, that idea we had last year, we want to revive that idea. Labbaik wa sa'daik, Jaan hazira. So the intention behind today's particular mahfil or majlis is to give you some tajalliyat, manifestations in relation to the importance of seeking knowledge, so that hopefully you are inspired to take the path of acquiring and seeking knowledge. How we will go about that, inshallah, I will mention at the end. I don't want to spoil the surprise, because we have something in mind with Allama Sahib's ijazat and shafqat and permission and sadarat. But I will leave that to the end. To mention a few things, I have with me a very famous work of hadith. Many of you will be familiar with this work, Mishkatul Masabih, written by a great scholar of his time, Allama Hatib At-Tabrizi, rahimahullah ta'ala, and 4 volumes. In this first volume they have a chapter, Kitabul Ilm, which by chance is the second book or chapter in this Mishkatul Masabih, first being Kitabul Iman. So I will come to this and mention a few ahadith al-mubarakah in relation to the fada'il the virtues and excellences of seeking knowledge. Before we come to the book, I had the sharaf and honor of reciting an ayat before yourselves from Surah Ali Imran, Surah number 3, verse 164. Yeah, Surah number 3, verse 164. And similarly, very similar wordings are used in another maqam in the Qur'an, in Surah Al-Jum'ah. And Allah Tabaraka Ta'ala, let me just confirm, Surah Al-Jum'ah, Surah number 62, verse number 2. هُوَ الَّذِي بَعَثَ فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَإِنْ كَانُوا مِنْ قَبْلُ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. This is by way of reference. Two different places where similar wordings are used. Similar wordings are used to highlight mission-e Rasul. Kya? Bolo tasi, I can only hear the ulama karam speak. Mission-e Rasul. And this is the first part of my bayan. Tawajjuh se suno. Mission-e Rasul. The mission. Ek Mohaddis-e-Azam mission. Which is a hissa and a juz of mission-e Rasul. Isme koi shak nahi. But the overriding mission is mission-e Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Allah Almighty Jalla wa Ala highlights mission-e Rasul, mission-e Mustafa in these two places. Surah Ali Imran, verse 164. Surah Al-Jum'ah, verse 2. And Allah Almighty mentions mission-e Rasul and divides mission-e Rasul into three parts. How many? Teen ajza. If we just look past the first parts of the verses, and in Surah Ali Imran, Allah Almighty begins by saying, لَقَدْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِذْ بَعَثَ فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا. I'm not going to go down that route. That's a different bayan for a different day. How Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam is no doubt a ni'matul uzma, the greatest favor and blessing that Allah has bestowed upon you and me. And how we are duty bound to express our shukr and our gratitude and do izhar shukr to Allah Tabaraka Ta'ala for this great ni'mah that He has bestowed upon us. Or ek aur another mawzu hai. Lekin, mission-e Rasul is highlighted when Allah Almighty says, يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ. Number 1. وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ. Number 2. And وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. Number 3. 3 parts to mission-e Rasul. And in reality these 3 parts are 2. Number 1 and number 3, you do jama between the 2. Yani yatlu alayhim ayatihi, first part of his mission, which is to recite the verses and the signs of Allah Almighty to the people, is an offshoot of وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. Meri baat samjhe? Yani number 1, the first part, and number 3, the third part, they are in reality one thing. One hissa, one juz of his mission. And I will summarize in a short while. And then the second part of his mission, which is in between the 2, وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ. The second part of his mission is to purify them. Is to purify them. To take Abu Bakr and make him into a Siddiq. To take Umar and make him into Al-Faruq-e-Azam. To take Uthman and make him into Dhunnurayn al-Ghani. To take Ali and make him into Al-Murtaza. وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ. So there's 2 parts to his mission. Mission-e Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. To summarize, the first part of his mission is by way of knowledge. Nabi Islam propagated the message of Islam by way of knowledge, ilm. And the second part of his mission, and the way he propagated the message of Islam, spread Islam from Mashriq to Maghrib, and conquered and won over the hearts of the people, including his enemies, was by way of character. Tazkiyah, ruhaniyat, yes, akhlaq hasana. And very quickly in relation to the second part, touch and go, and then we'll come back to the first part. Mission of Rasul, first by way of knowledge, and the other by way of character. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. His great and noble character, Allah Almighty verifies in the Quran when He says, indeed you, innaka, ka, damir, mukhatab towards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Indeed you, O Messenger of Allah, possess a great and noble character. Noble character of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. In another maqam in the Quran, in another place, Allah Almighty highlights the great shafqat and the great rahmat and the great mercy and compassion that Nabi Islam showed towards the Sahaba Ikram after the Battle of Uhud. इसी तरीके से وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Nabi Islam rahmatan lil alameen is a hissa of his akhlaq hasana, his khuluq azim. And when Nabi Islam introduced himself to kainat, Muslim Ahmad bin Hanbal Sharif ki riwayat, Imam al-Bazzar was naql of this as well, Qadi Iyaz was naql of this in his Ash-Shifa. And Nabi Islam said, Bu'ithtu li utammima makarim al-akhlaq. Bu'ithtu, I was sent in order to perfect character. In order to perfect character. And if you study the history of Islam, straight after the Dawr Zamana of Nabi Islam was the Dawr Zamana of the Sahaba Ikram, then the Tabi'een, then the Itba'i Tabi'een. Then came the time of Huzur Mohaddis-e-Azam, Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, Khwaja Khwajigan, Khwaja Ajmeri. Before them, Huzur Dat Ali Hujweri. After them, Huzur Mujaddid al-Faisani. These great luminaries and great shining stars of the Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'at, if you study their missions and their works, then you come to the conclusion that they also propagated Islam, spread Islam through these two ways as well. Knowledge and character. Knowledge and character. Both go hand in hand. If I was to just mention a few examples, if you look at Huzur Mohaddis-e-Azam radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Pirani Pir, Shenshai Baghdad, Imam Rabbani Kutub Subhani, Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. We know that he studied knowledge for around 40 years. And he writes himself in his Qasida Ghosiyah, Darastu ilma hatta sittu qutban, that I acquired and I attained and I studied so much knowledge that I reached the maqam of Qutubiyyat, which is the greatest maqam in Tasawwuf. After that is Ghosiyat. This is Huzur Mohaddis-e-Azam. Or isi tarike se, if you look at the lives of Huzur Dat Ali Hujweri, he spent 30 years seeking knowledge, traveling the lands, going from one place to another, seeking knowledge, acquiring knowledge. If you look at and study the life of Huzur Khwaja Khwajigan, Sultanul Hind, Naib Rasul, Ata'un Nabi, Hazrat Khwaja Sayyid Mu'inuddin, Ajmeri Sanjari Rahmatullah alayhi. They spent 40 years seeking knowledge. And Shaykh Abdul Haq Mohaddis-e-Azam Rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi, they write that Khwaja Khwajigan, Khwaja Ajmeri, for 3 years used to give Dars-e-Hadith in Masjid-e-Nabawi Sharif. Did you know this? People assume that they are great Sufis and great Babas and great Gnostics and great Arif Billahs, Arifin and great saints. But the bunyad of everything that these great awliyaullah, these great friends of Allah Almighty did, the bunyad of everything that they did was knowledge. Knowledge. And then with that, like we are discussing, साथ akhlaq hasana as well. Acha suluk, acha kirdar. good character, noble conduct. I often said this, that Khwaja Khan, when he entered into Ajmer, he didn't have with him an AK-47. He had no bomb with him. He had nothing that people today use in order to spread Islam, inverted commas. All he had with him, one lota, one tasbih, one musalla. One lota, one tasbih, one musalla. And this Marde Kalendar, Ashiq Rasool, was able to directly or indirectly conquer the hearts of 9.7 million Hindus. Andaza now? Knowledge hand in hand with akhlaq hasan. In one day when he was passing through Delhi, 700 Hindus converted to Islam on the way to Ajmer. 700 Hindus. Asa puri zindagi koshish karane ni ek bhi nahi bata ho sakta. Khwaja Khan dekho ji. People will simply look at him, and just by looking at him they will remember Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These are those people that they took their knowledge, sath they had akhlaq hasana as well. They had acha suluk and acha kirdar as well. Sadly, what we see today is people who have knowledge, but they don't have good character. People are driven away from them because they don't present themselves in the right way. And this is why, and I've written this down, I was telling Hafiz Saab this, that the prerequisite, big word, the prerequisite, the precondition of knowledge is adab. The prerequisite and the precondition of knowledge is what? Adab. Respect. The whole deen is based upon adab. The whole deen is based upon respect. The one who has knowledge and doesn't have adab will never be able to attain his maqam wa martaba. But the one who doesn't have knowledge but has adab, then he has a lot more than the one who does have knowledge. There are four things here. I am jumping the gun slightly. There are four things here. First is adab, then is ilm. Adab comes first, then is ilm. One of the students of Imam Malik studied with him for 20 years. And for 18 out of them 20 years, all he studied from Imam Malik was adab. How many years? 18 years out of 20. We think it's all about the books. We ask students of knowledge, keri kitab parne ho? Which book are you on now? And if you think he studied Kafiya and Mukhtasarul Mu'ani or is tarike se, big high level books, we think, ye banda paya hua hai, he's attained something. Not knowing that inside he is empty and hollow. And we'll come to this. 18 years he studied adab. 2 years all he did was study masla and masaib, the issues relating to fiqh and aqidah. And then what does he say after 20 years? He goes, gosh, if only I spent them 2 years also seeking adab as well. If only I spent them 2 years seeking adab as well. وهناك قول be adab, be nasib, ba adab, ba nasib. Adab is the foundation of everything. If you don't have adab for your ustad, if you don't have adab for your books, if you don't have adab for your surroundings, then what fa'idah, what benefit are you taking from knowledge and ilm? So adab is first, then comes ilm, dusra marhala. Ilm to baad, tisra marhala, amal. Kya? If you have knowledge but don't do amal upon that knowledge, yani you don't act upon that knowledge, then as Data Sahib saying the Kashful Mahjoob, you are simply a donkey carrying books, blindfolded going around the flour mill. You are a donkey carrying books, blindfolded going around the flour mill, thinking you are doing right. In reality, you are misguided. So amal to bagair, ilm is nothing. And ilm is only something when you have adab. And then the fourth marhala, 4-stage journey. adab, ilm, amal, or tawadu. The fourth stage is khushu, tawadu, inkasari, humility. Kya? Humility, ajizi. And the verse of the Quran verifies what I'm saying. وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ حَوْنًا. Yeah? وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا Tarjama. Allah Almighty says the servants of Rahman are those that when they walk on the earth, they walk with humility. They walk with ajizi, humility, tawadu, head down. Today we have, without pointing fingers, I'll refrain from that today. So sometimes people are waiting for who is he going to attack today. But today we have certain people, scholars without taking names, who are waiting for people to come and kiss their hands. Certain scholars and Pirane Hazrat who are living off the names of their predecessors, who will not come to a particular mahfil or majlis if the titles on the poster are not correct. Or if the tasweer and picture is not upon the poster. Meri baat samjh rahe na? And if this is the mindset of that scholar, that peer, that alim-e-deen, then in reality, he is destroyed. Shaitan had knowledge. So much knowledge that he was the ustad of the malaik. And shaitan had ibadat as well. Ulama mentioned that was not a single place on this earth where shaitan didn't do sajda to Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. Ilm vi hai, amal vi hai. Lekin there was no tawadu. There was no khushu. There was no inkasari. There was no humility. That when Allah Almighty told all of the angels to prostrate, including Adam alayhi salam, he did inkar, ana khayrum minku. I am better than him. Which is arrogance. Opposite of humility is arrogance. And we have this, unfortunately, amongst our ulama circle, that if somebody has studied slightly more than somebody else, they think, main bara mufti hai. And that's destroying a person. And then all of this, I said 4 stages. 5th stage just came to my mind. You probably think he's making this up as he's going along. 5th stage just came into my mind. Ayat of the Qur'an. I don't speak without dalil. Allah Almighty says what? إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. 5th stage is what? خوف إلهي. And the ayat of the Quran proves that. That those who fear Allah Almighty from amongst the ibad, yani the servants of Allah, they are the ulama. They are the ulama. إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. ये है कुरान में. अल्लाह अकबर. अदब, इल्म, अमल, खुशू यानी तवादु और खौफ इलाही. Then that person is kamil. That person is complete. मेरी बात समझ गए? So this was me just slightly jumping ahead. This was supposed to be right at the end. But the reason why I mentioned at this point is to highlight to you that these great ushaq and rijalullah, men of Allah, who spread Islam from Mashriq to Maghrib, people whose names we have mentioned, they did so on these conditions and these stages that they reached. So coming back to what I was initially discussing, my aim is to be finished for 6 o'clock as I need to be in Bolton. And you have Salatul Isha at around 6:30. Mission e Rasul, first zariya, first way is by way of akhlaq, tazkiyah. And the second way, which is the main crux of our discussion today, that mission e Rasul was spread, Islam was propagated by way of knowledge. By way of knowledge. And then I know that someone's listening. By way of knowledge. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam spread Islam from Mashriq to Maghrib, empowered the Sahaba, and essentially allowed Islam to flourish through these two means, which essentially form the root and the cause of his mission. Akhlaq or ilm. Akhlaq or ilm. And the fada'il of ilm are numerous and countless. No doubt, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam here, riwayat is mentioned, highlighting the importance of seeking knowledge. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Sayyidina Anas bin Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu is the narrator. Riwayat mentioned in Ibn Majah Sharif, Imam Bayhaqi mentions in his Shu'ab al-Iman that mashhur riwayat, Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslimin. Highlighting the importance of seeking knowledge, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that seeking knowledge is obligatory. Faridatun, the muannath of fard. Faridatun, it is obligatory. Ala kulli muslimin, upon every single Muslim. Now this again doesn't mean that you seek so much knowledge that you reach the level of an alim. That's not necessary. वो है फर्ज किफाया, लेकिन this is referring to फर्द आइन. क्या? फर्द आइन. That कम as कम each believer, each Muslim should have enough knowledge to know what is right and what is wrong, what is haqq and what is batil, and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And I often say this, that if you were to do a survey of our Muslims, let's just say we do a survey now, don't worry, just hypothetically speaking. If you were to do a survey, and let's say 5 simple questions which the knowledge of it is mandatory upon every believer. I am pretty confident that out of 5 questions, Amatun Nas will probably struggle to answer maybe 3 or 4 of them. I am pretty confident. Not just the awam who are sat here listening to me now, up and down the country if you were to do a survey. Khas taur amongst our Naujawan Tabaqa and youngsters. If you were to ask them, and I said this last year on Ummah channel as well, Haq 4 Yaar conference, meri takreer pehle si na, Raar Paar, Gol Mol, lekin I said the same thing. I said, theek hai, we're having Haq 4 Yaar conference, but you go onto the streets and you ask our youth, who are the 4 Yaar? And they will struggle to name them. Who are the 4 Yaar? The Khulafai Rashideen, the 4 rightly guided caliphs. And I'm pretty confident that half of our youngsters, if not more, and this is Husnul Zan, half of our youngsters, if not more, will not be able to name you who the 4 Yaar are, or who the Pantan Pak are, or what the 4 Fard of Wudu are, or what the 3 Fard of Ghusl are, or what the 6 Fard of Salah are. This is all Fardul Ain. And within this, without frightening you and scaring you too much, we also have, from amongst the basics and the fundamentals of our deen, our understanding in relation to our aqa'id. People say that they believe in Allah, amantu billah. But you ask them in relation to their belief regarding Allah, some will say ma'adallah, that Allah sits on the throne. Others will say ma'adallah, Allah has a hand just like we have hands. Allah has a face just like we have face. Anthropomorphism, another big word. Anthropomorphism, even I'm struggling to say it. Yani tajseem or tashbih to Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. Some people will have this understanding in relation to Allah Almighty. Others will say that they believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but they will deny the ilmul ghaib of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or they will deny that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam is alive in his blessed grave. Or if you ask them, Baba, you say you are Sunni, Brelvi, That's just to categorize, though there is no such thing as Braillevism. We are Ahli Sunnati wal Jama'ah. But let's just say, for discussion's sake, brother, you say you're Sunni Braillevi. Tell me, you believe that the Prophet ﷺ, his wujud, his existence, was first created from Nur. This is your da'wah. Now upon this da'wah, give me a daleel. Because ye qaida hai na, ilm al-munazara mein, Rashidiyya mein, that ad-da'wah bila dalilin ghayru masmu'in. This is a fundamental principle, that a claim without any proof or evidence is not listened to. So you and me, we claim, ulama will tell us, no doubt. But this is from amongst talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslim. This is from amongst the fundamental knowledge that each and every Muslim, male and female, should have, but we don't have. Within this, I will say, just to expand the point further, within my survey, my hypothetical survey, everyone's looking prashan. You ask our people, our Sunni community, tell me the names of the 4 main scriptures. As I'm saying these questions, think yourself. Tell me the names of the 4 main angels. And people will struggle. And it's a sad state of affairs. It's a sad state of affairs. That we run towards gatherings where we find entertainment, or where we find Jahil 2 number Peer doing their chullu mullu stuff. And we run, I'm not talking to you guys, I'm talking to those who will listen afterwards. MashaAllah, under Allama Saab's leadership and guidance, I know that a lot of you, especially those who have ta'alluq with Mohaddis-e-Azam mission, are saved from such things. Because MashaAllah, your nisbat and connection is with the Shaykh al-Islam, Huzur Sayyid Madni Miya Saab, or Ghazi Millat, Huzur Sayyid Hashmi Miya Saab. Alhamdulillah, that ta'alluq has kept you not safe. I'm talking more towards our Pakistani community, our Mirpuri log, Kashmiri log, Jera Sufi Baba, inverted commas, who claim to be upon the path of tasawwuf, and saying that my father was a great Peer, Nakui Surat or Sirat, people will run towards them people. You understand what I'm trying to say? And it's a real shame. It's a real shame. Subconsciously, without realizing, we are abandoning missionary Rasul. By going to such gatherings, where Juhala are leading Juhala, and this catchphrase has become a bit viral as well, blind leading the blind. That's what we have in the vast majority of our gatherings. Blind leading the blind. When we go to such gatherings, similarly, gatherings where Naat Khan are not Bashara, and who don't do amal upon the ilm that they have, ye bhi ek fun hai na, naat parna, naat samjhna. And if what you are reading and what you are understanding through that na'at and that thana of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you are not doing amal upon that, then this in itself is jahal murakkab. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what we have, unfortunately, where we will go to gatherings of entertainment or gatherings led by juhala, but when it comes to gatherings of knowledge, gatherings of ilm, our people are very reluctant to come towards this gathering. What we fail to understand and what we don't realize, and I'm not saying ye Tabarani Sharif ki riwayat hai, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam instructed the Sahaba that when you pass by the gatherings of Jannat, be sure to participate in them. Uska mafhum. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when you pass by the gatherings of paradise on this earth, be sure to join them gatherings. Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, what are these gatherings of Jannat on this earth? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Halakatul ilm. The gatherings of Jannat on this earth are the gatherings of knowledge and ilm. We don't understand these things. In another riwayat, uska mafhum, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, understanding and learning one mas'ala, one issue, one bab of Deen Islam, yani fiqh or aqaid or whatever it may be. Learning one mas'ala is greater in reward and more virtuous than offering 100 nawafil. Yahi hai na? Uska mafhoom. So why is it that we as people, and again I'm generalizing here, don't get upset. Baadi log naraz ho jani, Imam Sahib was pointing fingers at me. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone but myself. Why is it that we run towards gatherings which are mustahab, or do a'mal which are mustahab? Durust hai. I'm not doing inkar of those a'mal, those gatherings, those majalises. But when it comes to gatherings of knowledge, and I've seen this and I was discussing this with Hafiz Sahib. MashaAllah, last month at Ghosia Masjid, Maulana Mohsin Sahib's Masjid in Bolton, we started the Essentials of Faith in Belief course, 6-month discourse. The first class got 150 students, brothers and sisters. Credit goes to the organizers and khas for Maulana Mohsin Sahib. But I said to Hafiz Sahib, today we'll find out. Usually the first one, everyone comes. First 2, 3, everyone comes. But after that we see that people begin to drift away. I've seen this. Every Saturday morning I teach at Jamia Masjid Sultania here in Brighfield. Stone throw away from Blackburn. Every Saturday morning. 30-week course, and we've done 23 weeks. Fiqh, Aqidah, Seerah. Foundation Islamic Studies. Initially we started, Maulana Mohsin just messaged now. Initially we started with 120 students, brothers and sisters. You know how many we have now? Free course. Masjid covers all expenses. Free course, Masjid covers all expenses. How many students do we have now? 23 weeks down the road? Alhamdulillah, around 45. Still good, but considering where we were at and how numbers have dropped. And this is what we find, unfortunately, that whenever these courses or classes or events to an extent are organized, initially the attendance is good, people are responsive, yes, everyone's on the bandwagon. And what we find as well, Mazrat ke saath, is that people will only go because of that shakhsiyat. Shakhsiyat parasti. If they like the speaker, the teacher, the preacher, they will make an effort. But if the teacher is like myself, a bit sakht in his mazaj, no holds bar, then nobody will be bothered. And this is what we find. So that means we're not going for the deen or to seek knowledge, to better ourselves. We're going because of that person or because of our agenda against that person. Meri baat samjhe na? Not against me, alhamdulillah. Treat people as you want to be treated. We try our best to treat everyone the same. But I'm a general baat karna, gal baat hoyi. So when it comes to such gatherings, such courses, such classes, it's important that we are responsive and that we are committed as well. Committed as well. Because this commitment leads to Jannatul Firdaus. Ye riwayat hai, again, juz of the Qul, that وَمَنْ سَلَقَ طَرِيقًا يَلْتَمِسُ فِيهِ عِلْمًا سَحَّدَ اللَّهُ لَهُ بِهِ طَرِيقًا إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ. Nabi Islam said, whosoever makes this intention to take the path of knowledge, whoever makes this intention to take the path of knowledge, and not just makes intention, actually walks the walk, because we are often people who just talk the talk. Yeah, don't worry, Imam Sahib, I'll see you there. Alama Sahib, why are you worried for? I will be there. And when the time comes, just Alama Sahib and Imam Sahib are sat there. Ye galt hai. So one is saying something, then that other is following that statement up. Then Nabi Islam says, Sahhad Allahu lahu bihi tariqan ila al-jannati. The one who makes this irada and then follows this irada up with amal, then Allah Almighty will make his path easy to Jannatul Firdaus. So many fada'il like this. Nabi Islam said in another riwayat, This riwayat here mentioned, hadith number 220 in Mishkat al-Masabi. Tirmizi Sharif mentioned Kitab al-Ilm as well. Man kharaja fi talab al-ilmi wa huwa fi sabilillahi hatta yarji. How kama qal, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, whosoever goes out, leaves his home in order to go and seek knowledge, then that person is in the path of Allah Almighty. He is in the way of Allah Almighty. Kana fi sabilillah. Hatta yarji'a, until he returns home. Al-Batta, it's mentioned that the one who dies on the path, on the way of seeking knowledge, that person dies the death of a shaheed. He dies the death of a shaheed. Itna buland martaba or itna buland daraja. Yani shaheed majazi, not shaheed haqiqi. There are different types of shaheed. Not shaheed majazi, metaphorical shaheed. Like for example, somebody who dies protecting his property, his land, his family. That's a shaheed majazi. Someone who dies on the way, on the path of seeking knowledge, that is. But the one who dies on a battlefield, that is shaheed haqiqi. You understand the difference? Bara. Like this, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Man yuridillahu," ye to mashhur riwayat hai. "Man yuridillahu bihi khayran yufaqqihu fid-din, wa innama al-ilmu bit-ta'allum." Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, ye Bukhari Sharif, Muslim Sharif, muttafaqun alayh. That whosoever goes out in order to seek knowledge only does so because Allah Almighty intends good for that person. So if you've lasted the course, if you remain on that path with sincerity, with ikhlas, then come to this conclusion that you've done so because Allah intends good for you. Allah intends khair for you. So whosoever Allah intends good and khair for, Allah gives them understanding of the deen. You understand? Similarly, if Allah wants good for you, if Allah loves you, then He tests you with trials and tribulations. When you're in a catch-22 situation, do I go to the class every third Sunday of the month, 6 till 8? Or do I go out with my boys to watch the latest movie? Catch-22 situation. And I know 9 times out of 10, you'll come to the class. No, I'm joking. You'll go to watch the movie. When you're in this catch, that's when the test will come. That's when shaitan will be trying to do hamla upon you. But we need to overcome this. وَإِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. And the Prophet, this particular riwayat ends in 2 different ways. One is إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ Kitab al-Ilm Bukhari Sharif. And the other, and that narration is from Sayyidina Anas. And this is from Sayyidina Muawiyah. The other is وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا قَاسِبْ وَاللَّهُ يُؤْتِي. وَاللَّهُ يُؤْتِي. But وَإِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. The Prophet ﷺ said that knowledge is only acquired by way of learning. By way of? मुझे कार बैठे रहो, कहो जी बस जी इल्म आई जासी, मेहनत ना करो, कोशिश ना करो. You don't go out there, you don't go to seek knowledge. And we have this danger as well nowadays, where some brothers and sisters will sit at home and take their knowledge from the University of Google. And their teachers from amongst them will be Mufti, Facebook and Sheikh Twitter. And Ustad YouTube. And then they will go out giving their fatwas. Often these people are the keyboard warriors who will sit at home doing tabsara on the deen. Flana flana ye hai, flana flana wo hai. Bera garka because of social media. But you can only seek knowledge by way of learning. And ye jo ta'allum hai, ye bab tafa'ul, or one of the khasa of bab tafa'ul is takalluf. Tawajjuh se suno. Slightly grammatical issue and term here. Ta'allum. Innama al-ilmu bit-ta'allum. Lafz ta'allum is on the scale, ilmu sarf, on the scale of tafa'ul. And one of the khasa characteristics of bab tafa'ul is takalluf. Meaning what? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying here that when you seek knowledge, you can only acquire that knowledge by going through difficulties, by going through hardships, Don't assume knowledge is going to come to you sat at home watching a speech behind YouTube, behind a laptop, on a laptop screen on YouTube. No. And let me give you one example. Imam Malik, Namta Sunya Mashur, passed away in the year 179 AH. One of my personal favorites, because he was an individual from head to toe who was drowned in the ishq and ghulami of Rasulullah. And Imam Zahabi mentions that Imam Malik was that individual that from the age of 6, every single night he had Didar Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had the Didar of the Wadduha Chera, Wallayl Zulfa of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Andaza now, Imam Malik Sarapai Ishq, Sarapai Adab Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he was that individual that when he came to seeking knowledge himself, he was extremely poor. So what did he do? His mother sold the wood in the roof of the house, in order to acquire some sort of wealth, so she could send her son and go, so he could go and seek knowledge. Today we have everything at our fingertips, and we still take, as we would say in Islam, we still take the biscuit. We still take this. Well, we don't take advantage of these things. Very bad somewhere. But I have gone over and I need to go to Masjid-e-Ghosiyah. I feel that a few fadail have been mentioned. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala allows to understand such things. Utlubul ilma walau bis-sin. Or kama qala Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, seek knowledge even if you have to go as far as China. Qurban jao upon the ilm al-ghayb of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So andaza lao. So these things we need to bear in mind, and these things we need to ultimately do amal upon. Seek knowledge. Become people of ilm. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Man talab al-ilm, the one who goes out to seek knowledge, kana kaffaratan lama madah. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the one who goes out to seek knowledge, Allah Almighty forgives all of his previous sins. Ye kafara hai. Atonement of our previous sins. We take these things lightly. But let me end with a word of caution that we shouldn't seek knowledge. We shouldn't seek knowledge to argue and dispute with the ulama. And we shouldn't seek knowledge to argue with the foolish. Like Allah Almighty says in the Quran, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. If a jahil comes to you and gets into some sort of debate, don't entertain him. Simply says salam. Brother, you to yourself, me to myself. If you don't have knowledge and you go around debating people, very dangerous game you are playing. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, nor should you seek knowledge so that people, wujuhan nasi ilayhi, so people come towards you. Anyone who has this intention to seek knowledge, so people praise him and people come towards him for shuhrat and for fame and for dunyavi lalaj, adkhalahu Allahu nar, Allah Almighty will enter that person into the fires of Jahannam. Like this, we should be careful. We should be careful where we take our knowledge from, who we take our knowledge from. I mentioned this a few times, and that went viral as well. That certain people, ustads, doctors, muftis and maulanas, batore ishara, we should refrain from listening to them. Do you understand who I'm talking about? Or do I have to do wazahat? Wazahat, people like Dr. Zakir Naik, Mufti Meng, Ustad Nu'man Ali Khan, और इसी तरीके से मौलाना तारिक जमील and others as well. If you are taking knowledge from someone, if you are listening to a speaker, a preacher, one condition, one criteria should be number one on your list, which is this person speaking about the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam with adab and respect? If he is, take knowledge from him. If he isn't, stay away from him. Because these people whose names are mentioned, many others as well, there are people who have ghalazat in their hearts. And this ghalazat becomes apparent on their tongue. They have a slip of the tongue. And they've done this many a times. They'll say, Pagalta will say, Ma'adallah, that he went to Karbala. They'll say things like, Ma'adallah, the Prophet ﷺ's parents are dead. And they are in fires of Jahannam. that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is there, don't ask from him. That Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wasn't a Nabi before the age of 40 and that he had to accept Islam. I'm just quoting, paraphrasing their statements. Such people we should stay away from. Refrain from such speakers. For you and me, Huzur Shaykhul Islam is sufficient. For you and me, Huzur Ghazi Millat is sufficient. For you and me, we have plenty of English speakers, British born, Ahli Sunnati wal Jama'at, and that we can listen to, take knowledge from people who speak out of adab for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for his Sahaba, for the Ahlul Bayt Athar, for the Awliya Ikram. But enough has been said. Whatever has been said, Allah Almighty allow us to do amal upon, and Allah Almighty allow us to implement into our daily lives. Surprise time. Surprise is this, that what's the surprise? I'm joking. Between now and Ramadan we have 3 months. How many? 3 months. I think. And after discussions, there's been more discussions about this monthly class than there was between Mourinho and Sanchez. Seriously. Takriban saal ho gaya, but we've got there in the end. Terms and negotiations have finally been finalized. Sanchez went in a week, but we got it done in a year. So all being well, starting from next month, 18th of February. February, March and April. 3rd Sunday of the month. Time 6 till 8. 6 till 8. Which is a good time. Sunday evening, 6 till 8, not too late, not too early. You can still get home for much of the day too. Or family commitments, putting kids to bed, getting them ready for school, whatever it is. These are just excuses. Knowledge is knowledge. You'll make every effort to attend if you have sincerity. But February 18th, March 18th, very easy to remember. Will I be back on Umrah Sharif then? Oh no, I'm not going to go yet. I'm going on the 30th of March. And then 15th of April. 3 months. Course, I will let you decide. 2 choices, I'll put it to the audience. Ask the audience. First option is a monthly, 3 monthly. And if it goes well and we have a good response and Intizamiya are happy and we are happy, so on and so forth, and inshallah, all being well, we'll carry on after Ramadan. But initially it's a 3-month course. The first option is the end of times course. End of times. First month we look at minor and major signs of the last hour in light of Quran and Sunnah. Second month we look at life after death, how the life in the grave will be, Alam al-Barzakh, the permissibility of Khatam Sharif, and Isa al-Thawab, and all of these things. And then the third lecture will be on the Day of Judgment, how the Day of Judgment will be, the description of the gathering, Shafa'at-e-Uzma, Shafa'at-e-Kubra, so on and so forth. Okay? That's one option. And option 2, within the 3-month daira, is, I'm restricted to tell you, because 3 months you can't do much. The end of time months is an option. For 3 months, yani February, March and April, the second option would be, because I think they're hoping to start a fiqh class on Saturday mornings, which is a good thing, alhamdulillah. Initially the discussion was to have a fiqh class, but that discussion, that part of the negotiation was out and I landed. Definitely end of times. That's one option. The other option will be to have, though it's normally a 6-month course, but we'll condense it into 3 months, which is looking at Zururiyat-e Aqaid. Okay? Where in the first month we will look at our belief in Allah and His angels and His books. Yani Imani Mufassar, right? آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره من الله تعالى والبعث بعد the 7 articles of Iman. So we'll do 3 articles in the first month. I'll bypass all that introduction bit which I did at Ghosia last month. So the first month will be about Tawheed, belief in the angels and belief in the scriptures. Yes? Kutub and Suhuf and so on and so forth. Second month will be about our belief in the messengers and prophets. That will be just about the messengers and prophets. And then the third month will be about our belief in taqdeer, life after death, and the day of judgment. So the option is yours, assuming you want to come and study. Those of you who are more inclined towards option 1, end of times, put your hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm not asking for chanda here. Don't assume with this comes with every hand comes £50 donation.
Imam sir,
Ji Bismillah.
what's the age group?
From 12, 13, 14 onwards.
12 onwards.
Yeah. Yani samajdar hoga na. No point bringing an 8-year-old and I'm talking about anthropomorphism and all these things. So the child's got to be a bit intellectual. Secondary school, 12, 13, I think would be sufficient. So your children, nephews, nieces, I think you'll be open for sisters as well. Yes?
11 साल का इसलिए मैं पूछ रहा हूँ.
Acha. If you think your 11-year-old is sensible, mature, then by all means bring him. There is no restriction on seeking knowledge. So end of times again, sorry, just quickly show your hands. Right up in the air so we can gauge. That's all here. And option 2, essentials of aqa'id. 50-50, yeah? Option 3, you don't want any options. The choice is mine now. Estimate the new £8.5 million masjid in Accrington. Sounds good, isn't it? £8.5 million masjid in Accrington. I had a meeting with the guy who built it, Haji Javed, who gave the vast majority of the money. And similar discussions, they want to start something monthly. So in February, we've got a full program on the end of times. And then the intention is to do end of times course with them. Yani in March, April, and May. End of times? You want to do end of times? Tika. Is everyone happy with end of times then? And if the Zoq and Shok is there, if the attendance is there, then straight after, rather than doing 3 months and rushing it, after Ramadan, then we'll do the 6-month essential of faith in beliefs. Is that okay then? I think that's a good faisla. Har party mutmain. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala give you ajr or jaza. Please don't do fatwa on me if I don't read my Isha with Jamaat. Yes? Waise Shariat mein hai, if you pick up books of fiqh, you can delay the Jamaat for one reason. And that reason is what? Knowledge. Such is the power of knowledge. Al-ilmu khayrun min al-ibad. Knowledge is greater than ibadah. So don't worry, I will read my Isha, but I need to get, he's already ringing, Maulana Mohsin. So I need to get to Bolton, and as you know, it takes 35 minutes, 40 minutes. I might get there for 7 o'clock there, Isha Jamaat. But I'll make dua for me. Allah Almighty gives us istiqamat. Allah Almighty keeps us firm upon the sirat al-mustaqim. Makes our maut upon aqidah ahli sunnati wal jama'at. Allah Almighty give our ulama ikram a long and healthy life. Keep their sayah qaim and daim upon our heads. Allah Almighty forgive us for our qaba'il and safa'il gunaz. Allah Almighty shower His mercy and blessings upon our parents. Rabbi irhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna 'ilma wa zidna hikma walhamdulillahi ala kulli hal. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. اللهم إنا نسألك إيمانا كاملا ورزقا طيبا وعلما نافعا وعملا متقبلا وشفاء من كل داء بوسيلة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Ya Allah, we ask of you, make our maut in the Galiya of Madinatul Munawwara, in the halat of Iman. Allahumma aj'al mautana fi baladi Rasulika, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallama. Ya Allah, we ask of you, keep us firm upon the Sirat Mustaqim. Any brother, any elder who is sat here, who has any difficulty, hajat, problems, Ya Allah, we make dua that you remove their problems for them, fulfill their hajat for them, alleviate their difficulties and hardships for them. Ya Allah, good intentions that we have in order to start the monthly classes and the weekly classes and revive and revitalize the madrasa within this Mohaddis-e-Azam mission. Ya Allah, give us istiqamat upon these good intentions. Wa sallallahu ala habibihi Muhammadin wa alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een bi rahmatika ya